What is going on, people, and welcome back to another golf ball review. Today we've got the Bridgestone E6. I've got a couple left. I had a sleeve of 3. I lost one when I was playing, but I've still got 2 here. Let's quick look at what it looks like. The Bridgestone logo with the number on it. Obviously the same number has got a 2 as well. Initially, the feel of it, like when you're holding it, it's got that smoothness to it, that little bit glossy feel to it. It's a 2-piece ball. It's smooth, but it's firm. It's got a good weight to it as well when you're holding it. When I played with that out on the course, the feel of it off of overall throughout the bag, I'd give it a 7 out of 10. Not brilliant, but not the worst. There was a few shots that I felt that, especially off the irons, where it's a bit slappy and harder compared to some of the other balls I've tested. So the overall feel of everything considered, I'd give it a 7 out of 10. The design of it, it's got this small alignment line on it, which I used. But obviously a lot of people need something thicker, but it's workable, but it could be a lot better with the alignment on it. It's just the line with the E6 writ on it at the top. It's not really focusing then. I don't know why that's not focusing, but it's just the line and it's got the E6 next to it. But it's very thin, as you can see. It's workable, but a lot of you will probably need a thicker, longer line. So the alignment aid's not brilliant. The Bridgestone logo, as I said, is smart, it's simple. I think it works pretty good. But overall, not a lot of design going on with this. I think they could have been a bit more exciting and creative, but it's smart enough. It's very plain. So design overall, I'd give it a 5 out of 10. 7 out of 10 for feel, 5 out of 10 for design. Durability, as you can see on the camera, there is some grass stains, a little bit of scratching, but overall, a little bit of roughness on there. But there's not really any cuts. That's one of them. I've got the other one here. It's, again, the same. There's some grass stains on it, a few little marks, but the alignment aid and the logo itself on both balls there's no chipping or anything. So you do get the odd sort of scratch or roughness on it, but there's no deep cuts. You might need to replace them after a round, or I think you'll be all right for 9 holes though. For 18, you might need to replace them after, but overall the durability is one of the best I've tested so far. So Bridgestone E6, very good for the durability in what I get out of it. I'd give it a 9 out of 10 for durability. Forgiveness, I hit a lot of shots right with this. Some of it was slices, but some of it was due to the spin, I feel like anyway. I definitely don't think this is for a beginner. This is more for a mid to lower handicap. Because there is that much spin on it, it takes out a lot of forgiveness, which is a shame. Felt like around the greens it had a little bit too much spin, but not necessarily the check up. So it got the ball rolling even more, which is not great around the greens. And sometimes with the irons, if you do hit them right like I was, they aren't the most forgiving. Sometimes they'd go extremely right, other times you might just get away with it. So forgiveness, I think it could have been a lot better. I'd give it a 5 out of 10. The driver on the day I only used once, so it's hard to give it a fair rating on that. I hit a low one from what I remember and a bit left, but still playable, I think. But yeah, hard to give it a fair rating on the driver as I only used one shot. I'd give it a 6 out of 10. 5 wood, it's one of the best, if not the best ball I've tested for the 5 wood so far. Hit it flush several times with a 5 wood and it went the distance. Possibly my favourite with a 5 wood alone so far. Lovely distance off the tee, as I said, when you hit it right. I think it's more forgiving off the 5 wood than the irons and the driver. Definitely one of my favourites off the tee with that. 10 out of 10 for the 5 wood for me. Hybrid, didn't use, so I can't give it a rating for the hybrid, unfortunately. Irons, again, I felt like there was a little bit too much spin on the irons. Hit a lot right, as I said. Some of them were sliced, but some of them that weren't sliced still went quite a bit right, which is to do with the spin. I definitely feel like the spin negatively affected it off the irons, so I'd give it a 5 out of 10 for the irons. Wedges, when you make the right contact and hit it right, it's got a really nice bounce and roll to it, but when you miss-hit it, it does punish you quite a bit. So it's kind of a 50-50 for wedges, and again, not for your beginner if you're using wedges around the green. Tiny bit of spin noticed on the wedge play, but yeah, it's difficult for new players and beginners to the game, especially around the green where it's most important. Off your wedges, you'd be better using other balls compared to this one because of the forgiveness factor. 7 out of 10 for wedges. Putting, felt like it was difficult to work out the distance control on these. Good roll when you hit them right, but they don't spring off the putter like some other balls, so you kind of have to give it a bit more of a whack, and sometimes you'll leave it short and sometimes it goes past. They're not the easiest to work out with the power and the distance control with these when putting, and they're not as easy off the putter face as some of the other balls, so I'd give it a 7 out of 10 for putting. Price to value, as I said, I got these in the sleeve of 3, so not your dozen that you're going to pick up for most people. 16, it ranges between the sort of $16.50 mark to the £20 mark for 12 for a dozen on most sites. I think this is a decent price for the overall performance I got for them for that. It's more of a high market ball, higher end name and market, so I think the price to value for what you can get it for is decent. I'd probably give it a 9 out of 10 for that, if I'm honest. Durability factor, you do get more spin at times. I just think for the overall performance I got for them, I think that the price you can get them for, especially if you can get them in a deal and stuff as well, is very good. 9 out of 10 for price to value. Conclusion then, I felt that these were heavier than some other balls I've tested. 5 wood was brilliant, arguably my favourite ball off the 5 wood. Decent around the greens, but not the most forgiving. So if you're a mid handicapper to low handicapper, you're going to like these a lot more around the greens than if you're a high handicapper. Decent durability, more than good enough for performance overall. Could be less spinny on longer clubs especially, and off the irons at times, but I definitely don't think it's for beginners. So conclusion, overall 8 out of 10. Overall score, I'd give it a 78 out of 110. Overall rating, 8 out of 10. Decent ball overall, but as I said, stay away from it if you're new to the game. If not, I think you probably will enjoy it overall. Where it sits in the overall rankings, it's now 7 balls tested, and I've got this one in at 5th place. I've got it in front of the Mizuno RB566, which I didn't hate, and Strix and Distance, which I really didn't like, in at last place. So 5th place currently for the Bridgestone E6. Not terrible. I would like to use them again just to see if they change my mind on the rankings, but currently just under that midpoint marker out of the 7. But it's a decent ball. It's just aimed more at your advanced or your sort of intermediate to advanced players. Last look at it then, the Bridgestone logo with the number. The alignment aid could be better, but it's workable, and the durability is fantastic. And the 5 wood. And even if you're better with the driver than me, you're probably going to prefer it to what I did with the driver. So, yeah, could be even higher on some of your lists. It'd be interesting to know. Hope that helps, guys. Bridgestone E6 overall, okay. I've just preferred some of the other balls I've tested. Hope you enjoyed it, guys. The next one I'm going to be reviewing is the Wilson Staff Duo Soft Plus. And then after that, I'm going to be doing the Max Fly Soft Fly. Hope you enjoyed it. See you soon.